Perfect. Thank you very much. Thanks, Cheryl. And hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Doug Bliss, and in a moment, the gentleman you just heard, Andy Garrett, will be walking us through some of the Web Connect features we've released since our last user group webinar. And for those of you that are new to Web Connect, we've been working in P21, doing P21 related development since around 2006. All Web Connect versions are built specifically for P21. Web Connect is mobile optimized to run on any device that has a browser. That includes, of course, smartphones, tablets, Macs, PCs, laptops, just anything with a browser. And it does run real time with your live P21 data. The three versions of Web Connect are the free community version, Community Plus, and the full version of Web Connect. Each of those versions does provide feature sets that are designed to match a P21 shop's requirement at any given time. So for some organizations, the free community version might possibly be all that they ever need. For others, as their business needs change and grow over time, they do have options to either move up to Community Plus or the full version of Web Connect. All versions of Web Connect do install on a Windows server. They can be used with P21 either running in your environment or also can be configured to work with P21 running in a hosted environment. So, of course, users on the internal network can browse to Web Connect while in the office, and once they're outside, they can do the same remotely as they're on the go, and they would flow through any security schema that you may already have in place, which might be a VPNs, firewalls, or some other security appliance. If you are looking for a starting point to letting your users access their P21 data on smartphones and tablets, the free community version is a great option that a lot of P21 shops have adopted as their primary mobility tool. It also really serves as a good way to get into P21 mobility and try it out and get some meaningful feedback from your users regarding their mobile needs. If you are a community user and you find it useful, but you would like a couple of other features or functionality sets, we do offer a number of extensions for community. We call those Community Plus. Examples might be customer portals or order notifications, and those are available on a monthly subscription basis, so you can get in touch about those. The full version of Web Connect does offer a more comprehensive read-write feature set in the broad categories of CRM, business intelligence, customer portals, remote ordering, quoting, VMI tools, and a data analytics tool called Data Explorer. The Web Connect full version free trial is for P21 shops that would like to try the full version of Web Connect using their P21 data. It is a great way to evaluate all the features in Web Connect at your leisure and with your actual meaningful data in view. But you also do have the option to, of course, schedule at any time a guided walkthrough of Web Connect. We can set that up for you. And we also have a full version demo site that we'd be happy to give you a login account for so you could wander around our test data. And lastly, just to let you know, we do have a number of videos on our YouTube channel for both the free community version and the full version of Web Connect. So you can check that out, and there's also a lot of information out on our blog. So with that, now on to the demo, and Andy, it's all yours.
All right, thank you, Doug. Let me see if I can get to my mouse here. Close that little guy down so I can see what I'm doing. Excellent. I'll dismiss the webinar. See if I can't get my screen back up. Here we are. Great. Okay. Thanks guys for joining us today. My name is Andy Garrett. I've been the chief lead architect for the Web Connect system forever, it seems like, and I'll be walking us through various features of the system today. There's a lot in Web Connect, and today I'm going to try to focus on things that are ways where Web Connect has enabled our clients to do more with P21. By that, what I mean is P21 has all kinds of features in it for doing things like creating tasks, working with inventory, creating orders, working with your customers, your CRM. And those are great. What we do a lot of times is take those same features and that same information that's inside of Profit 21 and either present it in a slightly different way or give you a different type of UI that lets you work with that information in different ways. So I guess the first question that you should probably wonder about is really, what is Web Connect? And so I like to think of Web Connect as a series of features that are usable for different people to fill different needs. For some people, Web Connect is their core CRM system. So it's how they, with either a phone or a tablet or a laptop, they enable their sales staff to work with their customer information and look that stuff up. For other people, Web Connect is a business intelligence solution. It's where they'll find information that they didn't know existed inside of P21, discover opportunities for sales, or where they may be losing sales, things along those lines. For some people, Web Connect is a primary portal for getting orders into Profit 21 without someone inside of P21 typing them in. So that might be sales staff that are out in the field taking quotes and orders for their customers, or it might be your customers actually placing orders directly into to P21 through the Web Connect system. And for other people, it is more of a customization tool. So what I mean by that is you might have a very specific need in your organization that Profit 21 doesn't supply out of the box, that you need to be able to see is critical to your organization. We can use Web Connect to deliver that information to you, either for users inside of your four walls or for users that are actually out in the field and working with it that might need that information. And I can give you some examples of that, and I'll show you a couple of kind of just trial examples. There's some really neat examples that we put together for clients out there that I might have you all talk about a little bit as well. So where I'm at right now is I'm just on a home screen for Web Connect. And I'm logged in as an administrator. And the main reason I'm logged in as an admin is that I can now get to user management. I can see all the data in the company. I can get to some features that, say, a sales rep would not get to. But for the most part, everything that you see here is going to be the same type of UI that by default your sales reps would work with. I say by default because, again, this system is extremely customizable. We have had clients that have, basically replaced the entire home screen architecture with something that was more meaningful for them, with metrics that they really needed their end users to see. And so we can do that for you as well. This is the standard default home screen. And I'm going to take us again through some features that aren't necessarily core to Profit 21. They're more of extensions. At least that's what I'm going to try to do. And I'm going to start out on the left-hand side with announcements. And a use case for announcements here. This isn't live native in P21, but imagine that you need to communicate with your end users in such a way, and this could be your sales staff, your internal staff, or your customers, and get them information. You can send them an email, but if they have access to this portal, they can actually send. You can actually send the announcement through Web Connect. It'll show up on their dashboard. Some of them are automatically designed to pop up when they log in. You can always click on one to see what's going on here. So here's one on fuel charges. Fuel charges on all orders under $500 were increased to $5 starting September 1st. Great. And this can also be delivered as an email. So this is a way that we're taking and combining information that you might want to get to your end users, be it, again, your staff or your customers, with data that does not necessarily live directly in P21. Other information that's on just the home screen, this kind of useful information that you might be interested in. This is a listing of calendar events. And what I mean by those, these are action items that are taking place that have been created in Profit 21. So this is an opportunity. And the next one right here is a sales call, another opportunity, and a task. So these are just items that you can now easily see just on your home screen to be reminded. As you can see, I have 160 past due tasks in my little demo database. So that's wonderful. I've got to go clean those up at some point. And over on the right-hand side, there's some other useful information that is just at-a-glance stuff. It's declining sales and improving sales by customer. So I can take a look at these, and if I wanted to, I could drill down into this customer and find all sorts of useful information about why this customer might be declining in sales. So let me do that real quick. I'll drill into Chop Keys real quick and see why is Chotsky's down? So they're down about $66,000. And if I look on the right-hand side, I can see, well, the main culprit is undercoat liquid. I can open that up and I can see, great, these are the items that make up the product group undercoat liquid. And I can see specifically the item is this one right here, the 7960 55G, 55 gallons of something that I have no idea what it is. And they're down about 44,000 here, and they're also down another 26,000 here. I can visualize that monthly, so I can see, yeah, they're darn down every month except for October, and I can even look at it on a chart if I want to. So it's a real fast, intuitive way for your end users to be able to get to information and find something that might be actionable. So I'll go back to the home page real quick. I'm going to show you. We've got these action items right here of tasks and opportunities, but you can also interact with those in a way you can't in Profit 21 by going to the calendar for these items. So these are all of those same items, but I've also included items for other users since I'm an admin, so I can kind of get an idea of what's going on for my users inside of the P21 world. It's a great way to visualize what I've got going on in the calendar. I can click on an item, open up a lot more information about it, or view this. In this case, it's an opportunity to view the opportunity details. Beyond that, I can also, we make things easier for people to do. Imagine, in my world, I've got a lot of stuff that's past due. Opportunities slip a lot, and it's really easy in Web Connect to just be able to drag and drop them, move them around to another date. It saves a tremendous amount of time over having to actually open up each opportunity in Profit 21, edit the next step date or anticipated close date. This just lets you move forward with it. It automatically saves the information and updates Profit 21 as we go. So other things you can do with this calendar that's kind of neat. It extends Profit 21. There is a way that you can subscribe to this calendar in your local Outlook environment. So this is just a little string right here. There are instructions if you would like to go ahead and integrate that. They're right here. You just take, copy, and paste this into Outlook in a place, and now you can see all of these items in your native Outlook calendar if you like, if you would like to do that. I know I live in my Outlook calendar quite a bit, and so this is a great way to be able to see that information if you need to. I'm going to go ahead and open up this opportunity to give you some other ideas of the way we extend core P21 functionality. So if any of you guys are used to working with opportunities in Profit 21, you'll recognize a screen similar to this inside of P21 where you work with opportunities. I'm not going to get into an in-depth description of what an opportunity is, but just imagine it as a centralized place where you keep track of a lot of things related to a customer that maybe you're trying to get some sales for. And you can, there are all sorts of things that you can set on them. They have stages and steps. It's a real neat system. A couple of tabs on the screen that you won't find inside of Profit 21, however, are remote orders and quotes. Web Connect has a full remote ordering system inside of it, and you could actually create a new remote order or quote and link it to this opportunity before the order or quote actually ever hits Profit 21. So it's a real neat way to be able to put those things together and link them and track them here. Another neat thing that this is pretty new inside of Web Connect, it's a concept of a project. So what a project is it's a collection of opportunities. We had a client discuss with us and ask to be able to somehow group opportunities together. Imagine that you're putting a building together somewhere in your city and you have a lot of different customers working and bidding on it, and maybe it's different parts of the building and different pieces. Well, how do you see all of those opportunities in one screen? A project is just that. So what I'll do, I'm going to open up one of our projects that we have sitting here. It's called Hammond Towers Plaza North to give you an idea of how this looks. So this is a project. It's not native to P21, but it uses the information in Profit 21 in a way that kind of rolls it up and presents it to you in a more usable fashion. So these are all the opportunities that I've linked to the project. There's 5 open for $109,500. There's a tire op, a second floor risers, some kind of consumables thing, an adhesives op, and Braun 12-inch foam tape. What makes this really cool is that this also rolls up all the open tasks for any of the opportunities that are out there, so you can see all those in one place. Any of the open quotes that are out there, you can see all those in one place. and any of the open orders. So just on this one at-a-glance screen, I'm now seeing information related to potentially multiple customers and multiple opportunities, and I can kind of get a handle on, where we're at on this thing. You can set up a project with a description and a title, a status, which can be active, inactive, and deleted. You can give it a start date, an end date. You can flag it as completed if you want to. So some neat stuff there. These are all of the opportunities again. So these would be even completed opportunities for the project. All of the tasks associated with the project, quotes, orders, and of course contacts. Contacts are really important to work with inside of Web Connect, as you can imagine. But these are the people that are actually responsible for what's going on out there inside of these opportunities. These are the important ones you need to be working with on a daily basis. From here, I'm going to go ahead and just move over to a contact detail. This is another fairly new view of contacts inside of Web Connect. It's something I really like. A wise man once told me that you don't do business with Home Depot. You do business with a contact at Home Depot. So the more information you can find out about and work with on these contacts, the better. So we spend a lot of time and we work with trying to simplify and also enhance at the same time what information you could find out about a contact. So right here on the first screen, you would find the contact information. You have clickable phone numbers, emails, address, all that information is here. I can see open tasks and open opportunities for this contact. I can also see who this contact is linked to. So this contact is linked to customer 123 Warehousing. Cogswell Cogs is a different customer. This actually is a consultant out there. Linked to a Ship to 123 Warehousing and also linked to another Ship to out here. Beyond that, I can see some great information about sales information. If your contact information is loaded on your orders, this is a great way to be able to see that right here. How is this contact performing over time? They have 5 open orders. They're up $62,000. That's great. I can see they are down in some product groups and up in some other products. Well, they're really big on mixed PPG automotive paint, but they are down in tape bonding. So maybe I can take a peek at that real quick. Yeah. So yeah, it looks like they only bought it for a couple of months. It's probably a special project. Just again, at a glance information, you can find this very, very quickly and take a look at it. You can also get to all the tasks. So this is a task history for the contact and all the opportunities associated with this contact. It looks like we have a couple of opportunities, one of which is lost out there. Also, I'm very excited about this. This is brand new, and it's another extension that we're adding in. We're going to roll it out live sometime around Connect. Notice the email tab. What this is Exchange integration. So the idea is that we will be pulling emails from Exchange, and I believe also whatever Google's Gmail thing as well, and be able to place that directly into Web Connect as a subscription, so you can actually see this information. So you'd be able to go through for this contact and see a roll up of emails history for this particular contact. What's neat about that is it's not just at the contact level. It also rolls up to the customer and ship to levels. So if I open up a customer detail from here, I can find all of the information about this customer. Ton of great information here, by the way. But I can also get to the email tab for these guys, and this will be the email history for any of the contacts associated with this customer. So it's going to be really great stuff, and very excited about this. I know a lot of our clients are really looking forward to this, and I think it's going to be a really valuable add for us. From here, just one second. I'm going to go ahead. We've talked about projects a little bit. I want to dive in a little bit more to some of the extensions we've made in the opportunity side. So to get to there, I'm going to go back to opportunities as a listing. So there are many listings like this inside of Web Connect. These are standard listings. And again, to reiterate, if this listing doesn't suit you specifically, we do have the capability of reworking these listings and making them work for you. For instance, my default opportunity listing just has the opportunity name, sales rep, some contact information, the type, the status, the stage. We've got the next task date, which I think is really cool. So opportunities can have an unlimited number of tasks associated with them. This tells me the next one, and if it's past due. It also gives me total dollars and quotes and orders that are associated with the opportunity. So that's kind of neat. But this particular opportunity listing may not be what you need. You may need something that's going to list a lot more information or completely different information about the opportunity. So we can definitely customize that for you. There are some other views of opportunities in here that are also extensions of P21 that make things easier to work with. So I'll show you one of them. One of my favorites is the pipeline. So when you work with opportunities have something called an opportunity stage. And the stage of an opportunity is an indicator of where it is along in the pipeline. Where are you close to closing the opportunity, or did you just find a business card on the sidewalk and picked it up and thought that might be an opportunity? So in this case, we've got all of the opportunities grouped by stage. And notice that each stage has a success probability, a default success probability. So if they're not staged, they don't have any probability. They have a 0 success probability. But if they do, this one has a 10%, samples has a 10%, flow to 35, demo 65, all the way down to close, which has a 90% success probability. Well, traditionally, if you're working inside of Profit 21 and you're working with your opportunities, imagine you're going to have a sales meeting and you're going to bring all your sales rep in and you're going to go through your opportunities. Well, you might have a spreadsheet with them listed on there, or you may go through some other opportunity listing. And the idea would be you go through the opportunities with some criteria in mind, maybe it's size, one at a time, open up the opportunities, modify them and edit them. And if I were a sales rep, I would find the nearest exit I could. It would drive me out of my mind, the tedious boredom of it. This screen makes that so much easier because you can just visualize them all right here. You can go through it. You can start with a sales rep. So maybe I want to filter for, I want to filter for Kurt Gregory. Hey, Kurt, let's go through your ops. So it pulls back my opportunities. Ooh, this is a nice one for 500,000 and plywood for 3 waters. Is it still in gather info? No, we've got quotes out. Okay, great. Just drag and drop it over to quote, move on to the next op. Is this still here in gather info? Yeah, it's still here. How about this one for 25,000 or 1.5 million? And the idea is you can move these things around really quickly, get through them, make it a lot more fun, be able to move on to other business within your world. Another neat view for opportunities that's not native to P21 is just the forecast. And so this just basically takes opportunities and puts them into monthly buckets. So you can see how many you've got out there, and I can see that I've got 77 that are basically past due that I need to go clean up at some point in my dev environment. But it just gives you a quick way to see, what might we close in what month coming up. It's factored so you can, get some kind of an idea. Hopefully those things actually come through. Another really neat tool that I like is the win-loss report for opportunities. So this is just a way to visualize if you win or lose an opportunity, how that's happening. So you can filter this view for a date range if you want to. So I'm going to actually take it back a long way, see if I have anything out here. And it brings back, it shows them all right there. But you can also filter them for things like, why did we lose this opportunity? What are we losing because the price is too high? Well, so here they are. We've lost several right in here. And if I wanted to, I could actually open up the opportunity details and see which ones they were and kind of do some exploration on that. So again, just another way to make things easier and to be able to expand the native capabilities of Profit 21 and basically do more with P21. So from there, I think I'm going to go ahead and show you one other thing that's kind of related to opportunities, at least inside of Web Connect, that also expands and extends the core native capabilities of Profit 21. And that's the Web Connect sales call system. So what is a sales call? Obviously, a sales call is when a sales rep or someone in your organization will communicate usually by in person, but sometimes by phone with a customer or contact at a customer and demonstrate or present products and information. The way a lot of people record these over time is they create tasks in Profit 21, if they're going to get them in P21 at all. That can be tedious at best, as you can imagine, because you have to open up P21, assign the task. How does the sales rep know they've got the task? All that kind of headache that goes along with keeping track of them in Profit 21. Web Connect does 2 things to kind of alleviate that. One, it mobilizes and makes the ability to work with native Profit 21 tasks possible on your smartphone or on your laptop without actually having to log into the P21 system. So you can create tasks, You can complete tasks, you can edit tasks, you can assign tasks to other people, you can work with them on the calendar that I showed earlier, so it makes it much easier to actually work with the tasks. However, not all tasks are sales calls. So we devised a system that would allow you to basically take some of your tasks and flag them as sales calls. So the idea is you just go through, select which types of tasks that you have should be considered sales calls, and then we can handle them differently inside of the Web Connect UI, and sales reps can interact with them differently. So to kind of demonstrate how that works, I'm actually going to go to the task listing, because sales calls are tasks and all of the tasks are sales calls. So this is my my task listing for all the tasks that are open in the system right now. And if you look at these, you'll notice that some of the tasks have a little phone by them. Those are the ones that we have designated as sales calls inside of Web Connect. So it makes it real easy to see, well, which of these tasks are, maybe internal tasks, like put a quote together, or something like that, where it doesn't necessarily involve working with a customer, and which of these are actually going to be actually working with a customer. Now, to demonstrate the difference in the UI, and another way that we've kind of expanded P21 to work on things. So if I open up this, which is just a regular task, it opens up this task inside of what looks pretty much like a task screen in P21. It's got, a lot of the same information. It's a task. I can assign it to folks if I want to. I can assign it to multiple contacts if I want to, those kinds of things. However, if I click on one of these that is have the phone by it, it's going to open this up in a completely different screen with a lot more capability. You get the basic information for the task, but we do require it be associated with a customer. You can't have a sales call without a customer or prospect associated with it. You can assign it to multiple people if you want to, have multiple contacts associated with it. But notice this extension, call location. When you create a task in P21, you can associate it with a customer. But what if the sales call is not at the customer's shop? If it's not at the main customer location? Well, maybe it's at a ship to. So if I wanted to, I could select a ship to, and it would populate all this information for me. And now I know that I'm actually going to the ship to. Or maybe it's at Starbucks. So I just start typing in the information about where this thing is actually going to be, and maybe I put some location notes on here. All of these things help me to better plan and organize my sales calls that are out there. Again, it still turns into a regular task inside of P21. It's just an extension inside of Web Connect that lets you do more. The next tab over here is customer notes, because all sales calls are associated with the customer. It'd be nice to be able to get to those. We also give a listing to all of the other tasks that are out here, because if I'm working with this sales call, maybe I want to know that we didn't ever deliver the supplies we thought we were going to on Wednesday. I can get to a listing of customer contacts, and this is a really neat screen, because we recognize that, you go to set up a sales call, and you make a preliminary call, and you want to talk to Courtney here, and Courtney no longer works there. So what we let you do is you can add a brand new contact on the fly. You can come down and just add your new contact for whoever it is you're gonna talk to, save it in, and then that contact is immediately available to work with on the sales call. So that's another cool way that we've extended this. Now, once you start working with sales calls, then you can actually work with them in what's called the sales call log. So this is just a listing of only sales calls. So there's different information here. You can filter it differently, and you can also view this information in other ways. So if you're a sales manager or an admin, you can go to your sales rep activity summary, and you can actually get a listing that's made inside of Web Connect of scheduled sales calls, completed sales calls. They have call value, which I didn't get into. I can show you that. We've extended that quite a bit. And corresponding for this time frame, dollars and quotes, orders, invoices, and opportunities. The idea being, if I'm working and I'm making lots of sales calls, I should have more quotes, orders, invoices, and opportunities in my environment. This is just a way to be able to verify and visualize that. So, and if this report doesn't cover exactly what you need, again, we can create very rapidly a lot of different type of reporting and UI experience for you that more meet your company's needs right there. One of the neat things with sales calls I want to show you real quick is the ability to build some sales funnel or workflow into Web Connect, into P21 through Web Connect. So in my mind, a sales call is a great way to initiate an opportunity. So maybe I want to reach out to Jim at the Legitimate Businessman's Club here, and it's a great sales call. I'm going to add some product groups to this. This is how you get a call value. We talked about abrasive sandblast for $5,000. We add in, I could add, more product groups if I wanted to, but it went great. Talk to these guys. They're absolutely going to buy a bunch of stuff from us, and they would like some quotes. They would like to get special pricing on some product that we may not even stock. So what I need to do now is I need to go ahead and move this over to where I can work on this more in a centralized environment. And the way you do that in Profit 21 is with an opportunity. So we've made it real easy inside of Web Connect to go ahead and create that opportunity from this sales call. All you do is click the new opportunity button. It moves all that information over. It brings out, if I had put in notes, it would have brought in all the notes down here, brings in the title, which I might change now to something different, brings in the value. I need to select a couple of things over here in order to flesh it out. I'm going to change the stage to samples and put a next step date in of today just for fun, and then click next. And there it is, my full opportunity that's sitting here. And what's neat about that is if I go to my task tab in the opportunity, of course, it's going to be linked to the initial sales call that started this opportunity. So it's a really neat way to simplify and extend some of the things that P21 does. It makes it a little bit easier. So you can not only get to it on your phone or your laptop, but you can work with it faster than you could inside of P21. And so it's a lot more fun to do it that way. Another neat way that we have extended what you can do inside of Profit 21 is something we like to call the lead system. And where this came from, let me go over here and view a lead listing. Where the lead system came from is we had a client that said, Andy, we're buying these prospect listings, and we're going to buy like 5,000 names, and we can import those into Profit 21 and create P21 prospects out of them. But man, half of them, who knows? I mean, they may not even be in the right industry, but what we need is a way that someone can call on these guys, vet them, find a little bit more information out, take notes, maybe make a sales call, do something along those lines, and see, are these potential prospects that we should actually add into P21 and mine those guys? And their intention was actually to hire a third-party firm that would just be a call center that would go through and call these guys and put a message out for them. So what we did is we built a system that allowed us to bring in those leads if we wanted to, or you can create a lead on the fly, and you can assign a lot of attributes to them. So I'll open up a lead. And again, this lives in Web Connect. It doesn't live in Profit 21 yet. But a lead can have contacts. It can have notes. You can assign a lead to a sales rep or an inside sales rep. You can schedule a call date, a next call date, next call time. You can put in, of course, the name, address information. You can define a lead source. So in this case, this one is Doug. Hi, Doug. Or you can create a new lead source on the fly if you want to. So maybe it's users group. And you can save that new source in on the fly. It makes it real easy to work with these guys and track all this kind of criteria. You can even assign P21 customer classes to these if you want to and update all this information. What's really neat about this, though, is that once this lead is vetted and I've decided it's the real deal, I don't have to go rekey all of this into P21. We can just click Convert to P21 Prospect. It takes you to the built-in Web Connect way of creating a P21 prospect. It brings all the information over that I had stored in my initial lead. I click the next button, and now I've got a P21 prospect. And as you would expect, you can actually set permissions on this to where maybe you don't want your reps actually converting leads to prospects. You want to advance that up to a sales manager, or maybe someone inside your office is going to take care of actually doing the conversion. So you can turn off individual reps' abilities to create prospects if you want to. So lots of permissions that you can do with that if you'd like or would like to. I'm moving really fast, so I'm trying to get through quite a bit of stuff, so I'm not diving in too deep. I do want to show, however, one of the really neat parts of the system that a lot of people really like. It's called the quick order system. So yes, in P21 you can create an order. At least I hope so. And in Web Connect, you can create an order. You can use what's called our remote order form that acts kind of like a simplified P21 order entry screen, and you can order inventory all day long. One of the neat things that we do in Web Connect is we've created a system to make it easier for your reps or your customers to place orders, and we call it the quick order system. And it's not like the B2B quick order system. It's a saved set of inventory that you can assign to a ship to that can do a number of things. And to kind of demonstrate kind of how it works, I'll open one up in edit view. You can basically add as many items to it as you want to. You can add associated contact to it. You can automatically have it email people when an order is placed. You can bulk add items to it from contracts if you have P21 job contract pricing going, order history, from templates. You can even import items from a file. You can put items on the form in various groups to make it easier for people to find them. You can set detailed shipping information for it. So you can put custom delivery instructions. You can set a different freight code, a different carrier, different packing basis than you would for the standard order that this ship to would do. You can even define specified order classes. So this one I always want to be called VMI orders. You can even set custom locations. Where do I want the sales and source location to be for this form? Then anytime anyone uses this form, which is very easy, all you do is you come over here and you say, well, what's in gloves? Great. I'm going to open that up. I need 3 of these. I need 2 of these. And I'm going to add those guys in. So this could be your reps going to your customer, reviewing this information. We can open this up for your customers, and they can just start using this form to place orders if you want to. It tells you the orders, items that are ordered, and I just basically rinse and repeat. I go to the marking tools, and I need 5 of those and 7 of these. So it's a great way to be able to quickly order items. And again, this came from one of our clients that needed a way to do something that was not native inside of Profit 21. And that's what we pride ourselves on, is figuring out a way to help our clients do more with P21. Okay, so that's just a real super high-fast overview of the Web Connect quick order system. The next thing I want to kind of jump into over here is some of our data analytics. So we have a tool built into Web Connect called Sales Analysis. And this is actually a really powerful tool for your reps and your inside sales staff and your management team to be able to find out information about sales and who's buying, who's not buying, what are they buying, things along those lines. We've designed it to run very quickly and to also give you lots of options. So the default view, since I'm logged in as an admin, is just to show me sales reps and to show me 3 months worth of production and total data. Not super interesting. So I'm going to look at it a little bit more in depth here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look at a 24-month comparison. And instead of looking at it by sales rep, I want to look at this by customer. Okay. I'm going to search for that information, and I'm going to go ahead and sort this by total dollars. And if you remember my home screen, remember Chotsky's was down $66,000. That information is actually being pulled from the same information that sales analysis is. So this just gives me a listing of all of it. So now I can scan up and down here and see, well, where am I at with these guys? But it's not just total sales I might be interested in. Perhaps I want to know, maybe I want to know by a specific product group, which customers are improving or declining in sales. So a really neat way to look at that actually is to run the report first by product group. So I'll do that, and I'll open this thing up and see, oh, wow, undercoat liquid, I am down by quite a bit, and I'm down $108,000. So, wow, I wonder who makes up that undercoat liquid. So what I can do is I can go back, and I can run this now by customer. I can filter this by product group undercoat liquid. So I do this. If I could type. Again, I can't type. Search for that. There's undercoat liquid. I'll select that, and I'm going to rerun this report by customer to see who's just filtered for undercoat liquid. And I can see who makes up my decliners. Again, Chotsky's we already knew about because they were on the home screen. But also 3 Waters is down almost 50,000. So that's pretty interesting to me. And again, on some of these you can drill down. So if I want to, I can go ahead and open up the customer detail for 3 Waters and actually take a look at these guys and see how they're working. And wow, okay, they have no improving product group, so they're slowly declining in everything, and they're down about $55,000 overall. Undercoat liquid makes up the bulk of what they've gone down in, but they've also gone down in filler booth and also this other one right here. Again, I can visualize this as I showed earlier, and take a look at that. So it's great information to be able to find through the Web Connect core UI. So there's a lot of awesome tools in the core of the UI, just at the customer level. If I want to, I can get to things like an item comparison, an item summary, full product group comparison if I want to. An item comparison is kind of interesting information. It's just showing you the sales information at the item level. So it falls under the BI realm, and these are built-in things inside of Web Connect that hopefully people will find useful to find information that will help them improve sales, which is at the end of the day the name of the game. So beyond that, though, let's say that you're working with Web Connect and you realize that, we've realized this, that most of our clients have very specific needs, things that can't be put in a generic view of information. Again, of course, we have order listings, we have item lookups, we have ways to look up invoices and customers and ship-tos and contacts. All of those are stock for most CRM. But from time to time, and really quite often, what we find that organizations out there have things and needs that are beyond what we can build in just kind of a core system. It's impossible to build that out that way. So we have another offering inside of the Web Connect system called Data Explorer. And this is a way that we can rapidly develop specific reports just for you. And they don't just have to be reports. They can be full UIs that allow you to do data entry and things. So eWell has loaded up a couple of examples for me to play with here. So the first one I'm just going to show you, and this is something that literally I think it took him maybe say an hour or so to put this together, eWell, something along those lines. But it's not a huge chore for us to put this stuff together. We're not talking about measuring this type of development for your organization in 6 months or 9 months or a year. We're usually talking about a couple of months or and sometimes a couple of weeks even for something fairly complicated. So this is just a quick dashboard that we put together. And there's some really neat stuff you can do here with this dashboard. I mean, you can do things like drag and drop the items around if you want to, move things about on the screen. You can also, he's set this one up where you can add stuff to it. So maybe I'll just pick something, and I don't know what exactly these things are, but I'll drag this up and maybe it's another report. So you can build a catalog of things that you'd like to be able to see within this with this dashboard. And so this just gives you an idea that, yeah, we can do a lot of stuff, and we can customize it and tailor it to your organization's needs. So imagine that, it's really important in your organization to see customer metrics about a specific customer class that place orders on, a semi-annual basis within a certain product group, because you have to order those things 6 months in advance. And you've got metrics either in the P21 database, in a third-party database, so maybe you've got other tables and databases out there that you're working with, and you need to combine all of that into one view that your sales reps have visibility to wherever they're at. We can put that together. They can access these reports, and then you're off and running, and you have something great. Another view on here that he puts together that I really like is this view right here. It's just an example, so it's not ridiculously functional. But the idea is that when I'm searching for this, I will pull back a listing of both contacts and customers, and in this case, they start with 1, 2, 3, or they have 1, 2, 3 in them somewhere. So in this case, this brought me back a lot of contacts with 1, 2, 3 warehousing as the email address extension on here, and it brought back a listing of customers and ship-tos with 1, 2, 3 warehousing as part of their name. And the idea behind this particular example is maybe I want to be able to find this information fairly quickly, and it's my task to find phone numbers for all these contacts on the left-hand side. So for Sherry Klein, I don't have a contact number, so Maybe I email Sherry with her email address, or maybe I call the central phone number for 123 warehousing here. I get the main contact number for her. I can just type this in if I want to right here, 999, and then I can save it just that easily. So the example I'm trying to give here is that when we put together this custom stuff using Data Explorer or built into the core of the system, it doesn't have to just be visual or read-only data or a pretty chart or something like that you glance at every time. It can be something functional that helps your team actually perform some task and record some piece of information that you might find critical. And to reiterate, maybe it's not one of these core fields that are inside of Profit 21, or maybe it's something that's not even in a UD table, where you extend Profit 21 inside. Maybe it's a completely different set of data somewhere out there. We can integrate with that just as easily, push that in here, and you can start extending P21. So the end thing I would leave you with is just to try to let your imagination run wild. How do you want P21 to work for you? How do you want to do more with Profit 21? So that's what I'm trying to get across. A couple other things we haven't touched on, and believe me, there's a lot of stuff in here. I'm going to show you one of the neat little things in the Ship to screen that I think is really fun. And we've shown this before in prior demos, but again, this is a way that you can leverage the information that you already have in Profit 21, give it to your sales reps in such a way to help them be more productive. So the use case here is I'm a sales rep, and I'm going to be making sales calls. And I know that I'm actually going to be outside of where I normally live, and I'm traveling a couple of 100 miles to a place to call on one of my customers out there. And what I want to do is, instead of just meeting with this one customer, I'd really like to know, do I have anybody else around there? Because heaven forbid I drive all the way out there, and I've met with Bob before, and he's put me off 3 times, and I really don't feel great about going, but I really need to go, and I'm afraid he might cancel. But by the way, I'm already driving out here. I might as well see a couple more folks while I'm there. So what we allow you to do, what works with and ability to filter this listing by zip code. So what I'm going to do is, I know I'm going to the zip code 64057, and I'd like to find anything within 30 miles. They can be a customer or a prospect or both. If I wanted to, I could filter by customer classes and a couple other things on here if I wanted to, and then just search for this information. This brings back a listing of all the ship tos that are in that zip code radius. But if I want to go ahead and map those, and that'll bring me back a Google map that will show all those items for me within their mapping API, which is really pretty neat. Come on, Google, go faster. So these are now all those ship tos. So I'm going to be right in here. I'm probably not going to drive all the way to Overland Park if you're familiar with the Kansas City area. You know what I mean? You have to go all the way down 470 and 435. So I probably wouldn't go there, even though technically if I pulled it up, they'd be somewhere within driving distance. I'm probably going to focus right here in the middle. So if I wanted to, I could zoom in a little bit and get to where I want to go, find out what's around there. I can click on the pinpoints if I want, pop them open. This is a prospect, the customer over here, see who I've got around here. And maybe I want to go ahead and go to the ship to detail, or go ahead and schedule a sales call and see if I can't get something working around there. So just another productivity tool, a way that we take data and information out of Profit 21, give it to you in different ways. And again, even things like this are customizable. Imagine that you would like to see a map in your environment of all of your customers that buy certain product groups or that have not bought anything over a series of time. Something else that we can put together for you. We just need to know what it is you would like to see, and we can develop that for you. So with that, I think I'm going to open it up to see if anybody has any questions. Cheryl, or am I still on the phone, or did my call drop about 45 minutes ago?
You know what's funny? I was half joking at the beginning when I said you could go for 3 hours, and you absolutely could keep talking for 3 hours, because I know I've seen this before, and you're just scratching the surface. There's so much. Yeah. And for those of you who don't know, the Web Connect team, you're fairly active even with our local groups. So you're always supporting the user group. So I did want to mention that. I know you go to the Midwest group fairly often just to provide as much value to the group as you can, and I appreciate that. And I should have mentioned that at the beginning. And they're always one of the first people when I put out the call for sponsorships at Connect. I just check them off. I just assume they're always coming because they like to chat with us and get more feedback, right? Because you're always developing, and it just seems it's always building from one year to the next. So right now we don't have any questions. I don't know if there's anything you want to touch on because we still have a few minutes. I'm just checking to see if anything got emailed through. But is there anything else you wanted to touch on before we kind of finished up for today?
Andy, you might show a quick glimpse of the mobile views just to show the difference.
Yeah, I never got there. We've been looking at Web Connect in the full version on my desktop just because it's easier for me to kind of demo it. It'd be easier on your eyes. But just to make sure you know, the full version refactors itself so you can use it on a phone. But if you're like me and my eyes don't work as well as they used to from sitting behind a computer a lot, we went ahead and created what we call our mobile views. These just have bigger buttons. A lot of the same functionality that's sitting in the full version is just organized and arranged a little bit differently. So we put information in for alerts and open orders. You've got calendar information. You can get to contacts. Everything is, and customers, all that stuff. Everything is real easy to find and work with. Again, if you're used to working with a mobile phone, we tried to make this in such a way that it would work great for you. And you can just click on things, open it up, view phone numbers, things like that, see if they have any open items, what kind of stats they might have. This guy doesn't have any. So a lot of really neat information here as well. So just so you know that this is available as well, and just another great tool for you.
See, I knew there was even more that we could cover. But I guess we're pretty much.
On and on.
I know. I think you have a list there, and you're like, I ran out of time. I didn't get to the last 10 things. So if you're coming to Connect, make sure that you stop by their booth, meet up with them for a coffee, set some time. I mean, the vendor area is open all day, Monday and Tuesday, so you get a ton of time. For those of you who haven't registered for the conference yet, you should. We already have 625 members coming. This is now, we're up, what did I say, guys, about 90 more than last year. So we've grown a lot this year. We're going to continue to grow in the years coming, but I'd love to break and even 800 with all of our attendees, including our guest speakers and our other guests like Web Connect there. We should be up over 800. So we're thrilled to continue to bring as much value as we can. And certainly with seeing the Connect attendance rise, we're doing something right. But I'd love to hear your questions. So feel free to reach out at any time with questions regarding Connect or your membership or anything regarding the user group. If there's anything that was touched on today that you want additional information on, please don't hesitate to reach out. Doug, I don't know if you have a slide, or Andy, with your contact information. I think you've closed your slides for today. Can you just pop it up real quick?
I can find it.
There you go.
Yeah, I can't find it. It's beyond my technical prowess to relaunch PowerPoint.
No problem, because I have your contact information, so I'm always happy to post that. But if you are able to send your slides over, then I'll post that up on the forum for you tomorrow. So thank you to everyone who attended. We have one more webinar next week, and then that's it. We're going to take a break until after Connect. So if you check out our recorded sessions while we're on our brief break until the beginning of September, but keep an eye on the user group forum for any upcoming webinars. Check the calendar area on the forum as well. It's a great place to see all the webinars at a bird's eye view. So thank you, guys. I look forward to seeing you in just a couple weeks, 3 weeks.
Thanks, Cheryl. We'll see you out there. Connect. Look forward to it. Everybody else said hi. Bye.
Bye.